All right. Sorry, just had to burp. Okay. So I'm going to put this out. This is going to be part of the collection of videos I'm going to record that I'll probably regret later. But you know what? That's how I feel. So I feel like this is important to say, but when you go into business with somebody or you loan them money, or hell, maybe even just outright bankroll somebody, that doesn't mean that you support them and co-sign their actions. Now, let me contrast this a little bit here on a bigger geopolitical level. The U.S. gives support to ISIS, and they give support to groups like, these various Uyghur movements, right? They do. They give support to them because they want to destabilize China. This is true. Does that mean they co-sign all their beliefs? Fuck no. They're pawns. That's all they are. They'll drop them like a hot potato. It's the same type of thing when you'll have the Soviet Union giving support to people like Otto Rehmer. And for those that know, Otto Rehmer was the colonel in the Grossdeutschland division, who was one of the guys who stopped the overthrow of Hitler after the July 20th bomb plot. After the end of the Second World War, he and his party got support from the Soviet Union. And they said, if the Soviets were to invade, that they would direct traffic to get, to go to Bonn, which at that time was the capital of West Germany. If I'm thinking this right, I may be wrong. Correct me on the details, somebody. But I just want to point this out. Is it just because you do business with somebody does not mean you support their actions, I think that there are a lot of folks, I'm sure, that are conflicted about working with China. Do they agree with what China does? No. Do they particularly care? No. It's about the money. It's the same thing with Hollywood. Do they particularly give a shit? Sometimes they do to virtue signal. Other times they don't because they want to make that money. And also they see it as, if the U.S. falls, then maybe they'll overlook our bad business practices and the way we treat people. And, if China does take over, then they'll let us continue to operate business as we've always done it. Right? It's the same thing with, working with whatever group. Now, of course, there are diehard believers that are just like, well, we love everything China does or whatever. Yeah. Or, oh, we love America no matter what. Yeah, that exists in some cases. But to me, those are the minority. And those are people that virtue signal on LARP online or LARP in YouTube comments. And some of them just want to do it to be edgy. And that they just don't like India as it is, so they prefer China. Whatever, Like I say, I feel the same way. Where it's just like, yes, some people are going to do business. And, basically they just want to be contrarians. That's probably the next video I do about contrarianism. That's a word, if you say that wrong, you kind of sounds like you're drunk. Contrarianism. But yeah, I think that'll be the next one, because there are times I've been contrary. And I'll address a little bit of that, the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. So, just to make sure. But, yeah, basically it's just another one too. I was thinking about is the Soviet support for white supremacist groups and also civil rights groups. They don't care. They didn't care at the time. They did it just to, maybe neocons are correct on this. Here's a little bit of contrarianism, but they did it just to overthrow the country. They didn't care about what happened. It's the same thing that China just wants to overthrow the U.S. So they will reach out to Chinese diaspora. They will reach out to BLM. They'll reach out to whoever, you know. I'm not this, I hope that I never come off as somebody who's just like, I'm going to shill for this nation. I'll be honest with you. I'm coming around to the idea, slowly but surely, that the idea that, this world is temporary. And you can't be all that worried about the details of it. There are bigger things than that. The afterlife, God, and how strong is your belief? Do I have doubts? Absolutely. But I think that that's pretty normal. I remember I saw this Wignat video. I don't know. I try to use Wignat a little bit less. But the thing is, though, there's this video talking about how Iran and that Islam shouldn't be our ally because the Ayatollah said they can burn Iran to the ground. I don't care. It's about Islam. The same thing as Catholics may feel. They don't care about countries. They care about beliefs. They care about how many people truly believe in the dogma. And to a point, you have to respect that. And that's the thing that people like Malcolm X later got into. Now, of course, at the end of the day, Malcolm X, you know what? I'm not going to go there because I'm already drowning. But at the end of the day, people do business with folks that they don't necessarily like, but they feel like they'll reach similar goals. And there's going to be a point where they break off and say, all right, I'm done. And some folks are just going to get killed, It's the same thing to me. Once again, it's been a while since I said it, but it's the same thing with a lot of these Westerners that live in China and that produce pro-China content. People like Daniel Dumdrell will get funded to go to Inner Tibet by CGTN. Ultimately, they don't give a fuck about him. Can we be honest? They don't care about him. He's never going to be Chinese. They appreciate him because he can go out there and put out his videos. Sure. But he's never going to be seen as one of them. Yeah, you have your little, your little craft brew place in Shenzhen. Okay, cool. You got a Chinese wife? Cool. The minute you sway, the minute you deviate a little bit, it's on and popping. Same thing with Nathan Rich. You can put out your videos and say how great China is, but my man, they're doing business with you because it serves their purpose for now. You serve their purpose of being a counterbalance to Western hegemony. That doesn't mean they see you as a friend. Now, I have a feeling that these guys are smart enough and they know that. These guys know that. So, like I say, politics is a fickle thing, man. This is why I have general beliefs. I'm never going to join a party. I'm never going to, I would hope, anyway. I could be proven wrong, but I'm never going to promote any specific event to go to. I'm never going to promote a political party or a movement. I'll promote general ideas, but I'm never going to promote a political group. And I hope, my heart of hearts, I never do. And I'm never that stupid to do that. Because if I do that, or if I endorse a candidate or something like that, I'm nothing but a fool. That's how I feel. You know, instead of the sad posting, this is just more real posting, you know. This is more pragmatic posting. This is prag posting, you know. We're promoting pragmatism here. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of China. It is what it is, all right? People are going to do business. Does that mean they support everything? Hell no. But as long as they're insulated from those issues, then they don't mind. The same thing with Caterpillar doing business with Israel. Do they care? No. As long as they keep buying their products, nobody cares. They're insulated from it. Because everybody knows, you know, it's like, it's a very carefully constructed thing where it's like, you don't talk shit about us, we won't talk shit about you. We keep this business going, you know. And that's why so many things fall apart, because ultimately the real issues never get solved. People talk about things occurring at the time. They'll talk about, you know, the anti-Asia stuff right now. But when talking about climate change, they say nothing about it. They put that down the list, bottom of the list. When it comes to feeding other people, you know, when they feed refugees or something like that, it goes further down the list. Unless it's a virtue signal. That's the ultimate problem, isn't it? That's why you don't talk to the politicians. Talking to the politicians is a waste of time. You talk to the people that give money to the politicians. You talk to the lobbyists. You figure out what their motives are. And then you'll figure out what their actual beliefs are. That's the way it works, unfortunately, you know. I'd rather talk to an accountant and try to figure out where the money went than ever try to talk to the person themselves. The person themselves is always going to be like, I had no idea what was going on. You know, or this person did this or whatever, right? When you hear about Matt Gaetz engaging, you know, in, you know, taking a 17-year-old across state lines, I'm not going to waste my time talking to him. He's going to cope about it. He's going to say whatever. Even the accomplice himself, he's going to use whatever he can to protect himself. You talk to the girl. If we knew her name, and you talk to the person who supplied that girl, and then you'll get a much better story. You'll get a much more well-rounded story, much more true story. You know? Anyways, I think that's all I have to say. I don't know why I went super political at the end there, but it sounded good. I don't know. Let me know if that sounded good or if it sounded like crap. I don't know. Tell me what y'all think. See you later, and a goodbye.